Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Untapped Podcast. My name is Jacob Gabel.
And my name is Jacob Wurtz, guys. Welcome to episode 197 of the Untapped Podcast. If this is your first time joining us, first of all, thank you. We are thrilled to have you here with us. We actually have 5 main formats of our show. So first, we have Forging Fortitude episodes. Now, in these episodes, we cover the mental side of our brand. We go over our anecdotal experiences with mindset and mentality. Then we also have physical vitality episodes. Now, in these ones, we cover the physical side of our brand, and that's kind of our bread and butter because you have 2 certified personal trainers here. So in those, we cover everything we offer with Untapped Training, which is powered by First Form Performance. And then we also go over everything to do with the gym, workouts, nutrition, supplements, basically everything to do with health and fitness.
Love it, dude. We also have a breaking news format as well, guys. That's current events, current articles going on in the world. We talk about solution-related stuff to those current events, current articles. We also have a Knights Table format, which is our masculinity-based format, mainly male-based topics, fatherhood, how we're not perfect men. The only perfect man to ever walk this earth is Jesus Christ. We also have a guest format. Pretty self-explanatory. We sit down with somebody who brings you value, a high-level guest, so you guys can learn a lot from that. We also learn a lot from those episodes as well. Today's episode, is you're probably guessing or can see in the title, is more of a breaking news type of episode for sure. But our last thing to introduce before the fact of the day and the main content of the episode is our producer and my brother, Mitchell Gabel.
What's up?
Mr. Budweiser himself.
Yeah. Great beer.
Bud man.
Great beer.
Bud man.
Drinks like a loaf of bread, but it's freaking, it's good beer. There's no doubt about that.
It's classic. It's classic.
If you want to add a little flavor, throw a little lemon in there.
Yeah. It's good culture, one could say.
It is very Americana.
Yes.
Like OG American type culture.
100%.
By far.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just eat a loaf of bread typically and then
have Budweiser with it.
And write in Sharpie Budweiser on the packaging.
I go buy some sourdough.
You go to the bar.
Good.
It's like, can I have a Budweiser? They bring you a baguette
Yeah.
with Budweiser written on it.
That's typically what I get. I don't know what you guys are getting.
A huge piece of French bread,
Yeah,
like in the package. You know, it's like
Freaking
a 3
sourdough.
foot. Yeah, right.
Bro, it is a really good beer though, like objectively.
It is. It is.
Now, granted, it's not one, you drink like one of them and then you're like,
Yeah. It can't be a whole night type of thing.
No.
Or a whole day thing. Yeah.
Unless you want your stomach to be distended by about 3 feet in front of you.
I guess if you're bulking, it's a good option.
Oh.
Put down a 12-pack of those.
Oh, man. So that's what you were doing before you started working out.
Well,
You were bulking. Yeah.
Yeah. It was just a long bulk, you know? It was a extended bulk.
Oh, it was extended, all right.
Yeah.
dirty bulk.
It might have been a distended bulk. I
Yeah,
think is a better word
right.
for it.
Yeah, and dirty. Is that what you said, Mitch? Yeah, absolutely. Good Lord.
Filthy.
I think I should do that again.
I mean, we can make good content out of it.
Just for the meme of it.
100%.
You know?
I mean, we could document your weight loss journey when you gain all the weight
Wurtz bulks to 300 pounds.
and then cuts back down to 220.
Yeah, right.
Within a year.
Right.
It's like, oh my gosh.
My poor heart.
100%. You'd be in big trouble for sure.
Oh, man. That'd be nuts.
For the content, though.
Yeah, right.
That's awesome.
We just had the stare down of the century right there.
100%. I wish we had like a camera between you guys that could have just caught that right there. That would have been hilarious.
So, Mitch, you're the one that's probably the most knowledgeable in the room here. Okay. Will you please bestow upon us your fact of the day?
It is a fact. I don't know if it's of the day though. It's a
There goes the camera.
pretty well-known fact. Here, I'll move it over. There you go.
That was funny.
That was good.
Are you ready?
Go watch the video of that, guys. That was funny.
Oh my
That was
gosh.
good.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you sure?
No.
So you know that wonderful sugary beverage we always had as kids. You know which one I'm talking about.
Lots of options
There-
there.
There's a lot there.
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid.
Oh,
slushies.
you got it right off the top. The first one, Kool-Aid. All right.
There you
I'm
go.
that.
Okay.
Do we know where Kool-Aid was invented?
Is it a country you're looking for?
No.
Is it a state?
Yes, it is a state.
Missouri.
Florida.
No.
Got to be a Florida thing.
No.
Idaho.
Kool-Aid was invented in Hastings, Nebraska in 1927.
Wow. Almost 100 years old.
The good old days of Nebraska.
I guess so.
Yeah, I don't know.
Was it?
I
don't
guess.
know.
I don't. I'm just kind of saying that honestly. Yeah.
Dang, Kool-Aid's been around for 99 years.
Yeah, crazy, isn't it?
Wow.
It seems like all those, like Coke has been around for what? Same time frame, give or take?
Longer.
Yeah, I was going to
Longer?
say it's probably longer.
Yeah.
I think
And
it was.
obviously beer, like
I
we
think it was.
talked about,
I think it was
you know.
late 1800s. I think Coke was.
Budweiser is 150 this year.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
So,
Jeez.
I mean, I
Well,
would
and
assume.
Yingling is
I have no idea.
1880s.
We don't-
somewhere in that?
1880s,
We don't
something
talk
like
about
that.
that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bleep that part out.
Yep.
There's a whole
What
10
about beep?
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine Coca-Cola has been around longer than
I would think so. for sure.
Budweiser and
What in the
Yuengling
world?
and-
What were they doing that concocted Kool-Aid? You ever think about that? Like, what in the world? I mean, that is what is it like in one of those little like plastic bottles? It was like 70 grams of sugar
probably.
or something like that. I
It was
mean, it was
awesome.
It was
Well,
great.
but I mean, any of those things.
Yeah.
What were they doing?
Oh, yeah.
Like beer.
Yeah,
What were you doing with yeast
100%.
and hops? Like,
Yeah.
why'd you combine those
Yeah.
with water?
And that had been around. Beer's been around in general for hundreds of
Long time.
years.
Long
Long
time.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, talking about pubs and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
right.
And, you know,
Right.
1400s.
Thor,
Crazy work.
he's old.
He knows how to put down some beer.
Yeah.
In that,
Yeah,
in
there's
that
no
one
kidding.
episode or whatever it was.
There's no kidding. Yeah,
I
right.
don't remember which one. Was that Ragnarok? Yeah, I think.
Probably. Yeah.
Either way.
But wow. Okay. So Kool-Aid is almost
Now you know.
100 years old. Thank you, Mitch.
Wouldn't have guessed that timeline for Kool-Aid. I would have guessed like 50 years. something like that.
2007.
1998. Exactly when we were born. Yeah. It's like, wow, really creative, guys.
Yeah, right.
Nice job.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, we got a little smarter tonight.
Yep.
That's cool.
I like intelligence.
It's always a good thing.
Mm.
Always a good thing. So culture.
It's an important thing. Yeah, for sure.
That it is.
Yeah.
That it is. We lack a lot of that.
Yeah. Yeah. How do we even dive into this? Because it's one of those that like can be,
There's a lot.
yeah,
There's a lot that can be said,
it's a
but
heavy type piece of content to talk about. Yeah.
let's start with what started it kind of for us. We came across this video. So MLB opening day was whatever it was, 10 days ago or so from
Mhm.
when we're recording now. We'll just say 2 weeks. Opening day was 2 weeks ago. And the Red Sox on their Twitter posted a video from, I don't know if it said the year.
I think it was actually, and I'll this will obviously be on the video itself when we show it, but I believe it was the Fenway Park X account, I believe.
Well, okay.
I don't know if they have an X account or
Yeah,
whatever,
they probably do.
but
Same thing.
they said 1950s.
Okay.
In that range.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Red Sox, Fenway, whatever, posted this video on opening day from the 1950s. And it was just kind of a vintage, classic baseball vintage type video. You know, it was from opening day of whatever year the video is from. And I think some people had retweeted it and quote tweeted it.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about how we lack the culture that you see in the video.
Yeah. It blew up. Like the
Big time.
replies, everything. Like
Oh,
if
yeah.
you go on the video, it's the views on it are crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're going to show you guys here in just a second the video. We'll play it. Well, actually, let's just hold on. Give us a second here. Tech
Yeah.
problems.
No big deal. Yeah.
But basically, the video is just showing kind of what culturized and classic America looked
Mhm.
like, you know, and a lot of people associate classic American culture with baseball, you know, America's pastime. It's got that nickname for a reason.
They call it that for a reason. 100%.
You know,
Yeah.
And basically what you see throughout the video is just lots of couples, men and women, dressed very properly,
Mhm.
Predominantly white.
Mhm.
You know, that's just a fact of the video. And you can tell that people are happy. There's excitement.
Mhm. It's a seemingly calm event.
Calm.
Too.
It's a
If
good
that
one.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just
It's exciting, but it's not chaos.
yeah. Right.
Like you
right.
see a lot of chaotic videos nowadays
of
of
course.
our current culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with big crowds.
And obviously,
you know?
if we're thinking 1950s too, we're also thinking after World War II.
Mhm.
You know, America's established as the world superpower.
Yeah.
At this point in time.
Yeah,
You know,
flourishing in a lot of ways.
It's flourishing,
Mm-hmm.
100%. I mean, that's why we talk about the boomer generation being such a wealthy generation
Mhm.
because America was booming.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
50s to 70s and pretty much up until 2000s to the real estate crash in 2008, we were basically just skyrocketing at that point in time.
Right,
So
right.
Mitchell looks like he's got the video here.
Boston skyline bids welcome as it looms over the Charles River Basin. Tulips in the public gardens signal another New England springtime. Red Sox fans have had a long winter's wait, and they're always eager to be at Fenway for opening day. Yes, sir, let's go to the ball game. We're outside with the crowd right now on the Jersey Street side of the park. Time for that program, though, that scorecard, peanuts now. Baseball and Gansett a bit later. It's the opening of another baseball season, and the usual colorful ceremonies get things off to a good start. And another season is underway as the Boston team breaks onto the field. Well, here's the first pitch, and the season is officially underway. We appreciate your loyalty to the Boston Red Sox.
So there's the video,
Yep.
and hopefully that translates correctly.
Yeah.
And if those of you on audio, if you couldn't hear anything for those 45-ish seconds, turn on the video and you'll at least see the video, because that's
100%.
really what matters.
And it gives the context to it. I mean, you can even, as we're listening to it here in the studio and whatnot, I mean, it's even the announcing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just the microphones back then, like that nostalgic sound and whatnot to it, 100%.
Yeah.
You know, and that's part of the reason too why I was open enough to become more of a baseball fan too, because of the history of baseball as well.
Yeah. Oh,
You know?
absolutely.
I mean, not to mention you got the Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantles, all that stuff back in the mid 1900s and whatnot. Of course, there's just so much history there. But again, this video, like we were prefacing before we showed you the video, there's just so much. It just is America. You think United States of America, you think that video.
Yeah.
You watch that.
Yeah.
Unless you're somebody who despises what America stands for, which is, very common these days. It's too common. Very, very common. We've talked about in past episodes, and we're going to talk about it a little bit today.
It's too common. It's also too accepted in a way, but also that's not necessarily the word I'm looking for. More too amplified. There we go. Too amplified.
Yeah.
When I see videos like that, it doesn't ever appear that existed. Sometimes at all, which obviously isn't true. There were people in the 1950s that hated America also, or at least hated the culture that America had,
I mean, the Red Scare was a good example of that, with all the communist stuff from Soviet Union and whatnot, 100%.
Absolutely.
You had, who was the couple that leaked a bunch of secrets to the Soviet Union and whatnot, that type of thing too.
I don't know if I know.
I'll have to pull that back up, but anyways, go ahead.
Yeah. And so kind of back to what that video looks from the outside. It looks calm. It looks excited. It looks happy. It looks like people are getting along. And of course, this video is a little cherry picked because opening day is just an exciting day in general. It's the birth of a new season for the actual sport itself, which is an exciting thing on its own. But I think what it shows more is there was a togetherness in the culture, and that's a big part of what we lack now. You know what I mean? And so,
and why is that?
Well, I think we know that some of that is purposeful.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna deliberate on a little bit today.
Yeah,
so to speak.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, for sure. To where you talk about, why do we seem so divided? One of those questions or one of those answers, I should say, is social media. For sure, it amplifies the differences even more so. Obviously, the politicians, even as low as the local level and the state level, which is more unusual at the local level for sure, but state and federal especially, like they benefit from division to a lot of degrees in the population as well. But there's also the aspect that the native population of the United States of America, and I'm talking about people who built this country. I'm not talking about people that were tribes here, the indigenous before the Americans who built this country. Yeah. That's not what I'm speaking on. I'm speaking on that native population, so to speak, has decreased also.
Oh yeah.
Through legal and illegal immigration, for that matter.
Yeah.
So that provides more division. Now that's on a noticeable daily basis.
Mhm.
You know, young men we talk to on a weekly basis, for that matter, it's every one of us notices it.
Absolutely.
Compared to when we're growing up in 2005, where you and I are 7 years old at that point in time and whatnot. I mean, you can remember back to that time and like how different the world was even back in 2005.
Sure.
Almost over 20 years ago at this point in time too.
And,
you know?
and you know, we're not blind enough to not admit that we were, you know, sheltered from some of it as well because of where we grew up, you know, but, and it's not like we had an understanding of what was going on in the news or even in the world, in the country for that matter. You know, we weren't aware of those things at 7 years old, you know, but it felt like we were just normal kids in the ways that older generations talk about how they were when they were kids. You know, you stay out until the street lights come on, that type of thing. You know, it's a classic cliche, but that's true. Like that's how I grew up.
And we didn't get as much of that as our parents and then also our grandparents and on their generation had.
Sure.
You know, we got less of that for sure.
Yeah.
That couple, by the way, I was talking about that League Secrets, Julius and Ethel Rosenberg.
Gotcha.
So,
gotcha.
You know, just put the name out there.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's, you know.
Yeah.
No note there. But anyways, yeah. But a lot of the issues we have, you and I, with the culture we talk about, us three in here in general, is when we talk about the culture, all us three in here in general realize that now in our 20s, we don't get to experience true American culture. It doesn't feel like what true America should feel like nowadays.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And that could be driving on the road every day. That could be in businesses. That could be when you're grocery shopping. That could be wherever.
Yeah.
That could be when you go out and try to have some fun with friends and whatnot too, you know?
And there are still places that do that.
Yes.
You know, they do business the correct way with human to human interaction. You know, their buildings still have character, you know, because, you know, look at something as funny as like McDonald's. When we were growing up, McDonald's, it was still colorful. It had the play place thing connected to it, you know, and there was character to it. Now McDonald's are all like gray.
Yes.
Like literally gray.
It's the brutalist architecture is what
Exactly.
it is. Yeah, you go to downtown anywhere, not just St. Louis, you talk about concrete gray buildings.
Pretty much.
For the most part, you know, like maybe a skyscraper with a lot of windows.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Yeah.
And then you have, in St. Louis, you have the Cathedral Basilica that's just built in early 1900s. I don't want to quote exactly what year because I knew what it was, but I forgot. Like 1910 or something like that. But it was built back in a time where architecture meant something. It took, I believe, 15 to 20 years to build the building.
Sure.
For example. That doesn't, like that type of detail.
Doesn't happen.
There's no patience for that type of thing these days.
How fast can we get this building up?
What's the deadline? Can I get the deadline done at this point in time to hit our profit margins and you know, all that stuff too?
Right.
And again, that comes into the play because like there's going to be a lot of factors here. Obviously, we talk about immigration for one. We talk about how business is done nowadays. You were hinting at that one especially. You talk about the Americans, you know, Native Americans, aka the European Christian mix Americans, so to speak. Ethnic Americans is probably a good term for it. You talk about those groups as well. It's like the decay and apathy from that group, especially. A lot of other Americans of the same race as us three in here as well. Yes. We can see that apathy in their daily life and just the way they think about things in the world too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, like nobody wants to discuss the first one I mentioned, the immigration one, because it's this really touchy subject. We should just let everybody in. And, you know, they try to guilt Christians into it with the love thy neighbor thing.
Right.
Love thy neighbor means your literal neighbor. It doesn't mean a third world foreigner from 5,000 miles away.
Exactly.
Just to be very clear there.
Well, and here's the thing. You know, I sent you something about this. I think it was yesterday, where everyone's thinking the same things. Everyone is thinking it. Men, women, we're all thinking the same things.
Whether or not they say it in as much detail as you and I might, if that makes sense.
Or just say it at all.
Yeah.
Because to some, it feels like this horrible sin to say something like that. And like you just said, not at all. Not at all. We didn't build this country. This country wasn't built just to have other people from other countries come and try to change ours into theirs.
100%.
If your country was so bad and you flee here, why would you want to turn this country into what you just left? It makes no sense.
Mhm.
Makes no sense. Whether it's
Logistically, you would assimilate to the existing culture. That way, you are a productive piece
Yeah.
of that existing culture
Right.
that lasts there. You would not bring your culture from your shithole country into
Exactly.
a very prosperous country like the United States of America.
Exactly. And that's a simple concept.
Mhm.
If you and I wanted to move to Italy, we couldn't just bring all of our American culture over there.
Mhm.
No, we would have to become Italian.
The easiest one I always go to is Japan.
Yeah, or Japan's a great example.
First of all, you would, let's say you and I moved our families over to Japan and
Mhm.
then we were going to live there for hundreds of years or whatever. We would always be considered gaijin over there, foreigners by
Yeah.
them, because we're not ethnic Japanese.
Right.
It's the same concept. That's why everybody always talks about Japan and this, how it's this beautiful country and whatnot. Yeah, it has its negatives, has some work culture issues, some fertility issues, that type of stuff, but as a very strong and unique culture.
Absolutely.
You and I would learn fluent Japanese. We would attempt to assimilate to the best ability we absolutely could.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be brash. We wouldn't bring the American flag everywhere we go with us,
Right.
that type of stuff.
Right.
We wouldn't fly it outside of our house or something like that. We wouldn't fly the Mexican flag on our truck or something like that.
Yeah.
Like that happens here
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
Absolutely.
You wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And again, that's not, a lot of the times that always gets labeled as a hateful rhetoric. And then, those same people, it's like, you frame the argument in a very logical way as we are right now, in the way of, if a culture of a country, if the ethnic population of a country gets wiped out, that's not the same country.
Right.
There's that for one. If
Yeah.
ethnic Americans are no longer a majority population in the United States of America, it is not the United States of America anymore.
Right.
It's just like this hodgepodge Balkan Islands type thing.
It's
And that's about it.
Melting pot.
Yeah, it's a melting pot, which we've talked about that term before in the 1920s was coined by a guy who did not like America. Let's just put it that way.
For those of you that don't know the history behind that term, you should go and live.
Yeah, I would just recommend looking up where the term melting pot was created and why, and the thought process behind the guy who did.
Yeah. Enlighten yourself to that.
Enlighten yourself on that one.
Yeah.
But it's just that the immigration one is where you and I lean as the biggest, most important issue in a lot of ways.
Because it
too.
leads to so many other things.
100%.
As we've discussed on here and just by ourselves. Too.
It does. And the problem is too, a lot of people miss the point of like extremely limited immigration where you assimilate foreign populations of some sort in a proper manner and whatnot can actually be quite effective if done right.
Of course.
But the problem is, even 2025, it's so funny. Like you and I have talked about the Trump administration. People think they're like these horrible, like, oh, nobody can come into the country, immigration this, immigration that. Like everybody, they're deporting everybody. First of all, they're not at all.
They're not.
They're doing
It's
a
not even
horrible
close.
job at it.
Yeah.
Because they just listen to judges that are retarded.
Yeah.
But also on that same line, last year, 2025, 850,000 legal immigrants entered the United States. 850,000.
Mm-hmm.
There is no other country in the world that takes in as many legal immigrants as we do.
No.
Not even close.
No.
They're like total volume of numbers. There is no country in the world that does that.
Yeah.
No country that matches that type of number. So if we were to drop that number even to 100,000 a year and deport the necessary populations we have to deport now, American culture would absolutely return.
Yeah. 100%.
And again, that also goes to the ethnic Americans throwing away that apathy and being able to say mean things
Yeah.
as well. Stuff that comes
Have
off
the
as
stomach
mean,
for it.
and
Yeah.
you'll be called dumb by leftists and whatnot. You'll be called a redneck or, that's their classic roast
Right.
and whatnot a lot of times.
Racist.
You'll be called racist. You'll be called whatever words, misogynistic, and just keep going. Like add all the words there too. But you have to be okay with being called these words and be like, if they try to cancel you, just kind of laugh. It's like, yeah, okay.
Cool.
Funny. Yeah, really good. Nice.
You got
I'm
me.
gonna keep talking about this
Right.
because I don't respect your opinion
Right.
at all. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
And again, like that's, if we were to do the plan and go forward with it, and again, this is like, we have the options where we can get our people, our young men into power and whatnot. We can put them in a place to where we can begin to limit that immigration legally, and then also effectively carry out deportations that need to happen. Again, around 20 to 30 million that need to occur there to start as well. So if we were able to effectively carry out that mission, we can either infiltrate the system in a way of not infiltrating in the way of like taking them over. I guess if that makes sense. Like I think people hear infiltration. That was actually pretty smooth there, by the way. Smooth removal. Speaking of removals. But infiltration, you hear the word like this very like clandestine, take over a country type thing. It's not that. It's literally getting into positions of power in local, state, and federal politics of people that have our values that then can increase our value system throughout America.
Right.
So that's an option. Again, that's going to be a long-term option. It's going to be 20, 30 years probably, more than likely, at least maybe if not longer than that, hypothetically. There's also the option we have of creating our own institutions as well and our own value systems that come along with that. And that also goes to creating communities in your own spaces, whether you live in, a suburb or whether you live in the city or whatever that is, starting to create communities that way. You build your own institutions that can then have a place of power that implement your values as necessary.
Yeah.
There's also a third option that I won't directly mention because it's not exactly.
Well, it's violence.
It's violent.
Yeah.
Like that is the third option that everybody wants to dance around and whatnot, because there's not really like, if we're being honest, like that's like, that shouldn't be an option. Like we want to avoid that at all costs because of like the damage it would cause to our country long-term and pretty much forever.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how that would look. I mean, we have literally 350 million people in this country right now. That would be a mess.
Yeah.
An entire mess of violence was a common thread that occurred now. Again, but so there's options there to do that. But the point remains, to lead back to you here, is the immigration piece is massive, is absolutely massive, is because if you have the immigration piece, you have the culture, guaranteed in that. You have the ethnic heritage that comes along with your country as well. And you shouldn't be afraid to mention there's an ethnic heritage to your country as well.
No, not at all.
A lot of people like to discount that with America because we came over, we settled, and we conquered this land that, by the way, was just warring tribes. A lot of them were scalping each other. Some of them were even cannibalizing each other as well. They were warring. So like, the Cherokee would take land. This is not historically accurate, I might say. The Cherokee would take land from the Sioux because they were in two different places, obviously.
Right.
But like, this is a hypothetical here. The Cherokee would take land from the Sioux would take it from somebody else. That's what would happen with the warring tribes before the United States of America was a country. Yeah. Again, you talk about the Pilgrims, the Mayflower Village come over in 1619 or so.
Well,
and
And why do people vacation to other countries? Why do people go to Greece? Why do people go to Japan? Why do people go to Mexico? Mexico might be a bad example because most people from America go to the resorts, which is basically just an extension of America. So we'll take that one off the table.
Right.
Okay. But people go to Germany. People go to where did our buddy go on his honeymoon trip?
Croatia.
Thank you.
Yeah.
People go to these places to see that culture for a week or 2 weeks or whatever, because it's different, and that's okay. It's its own. It's Greek. It's Italian. It's German. It's Japanese. It's those cultures. So let's go see what the architecture is like. Let's go see what the food is like. Let's go see what the people are like. There's nothing wrong with that. And yet when it comes to other countries, people are fine with it. But when it comes to ours, for some reason, there's this huge disconnect.
Yeah.
And that's the hypocrisy of the whole argument. Because it's like, you'll go vacation in Greece and you'll love it. You'll talk about how beautiful the buildings are and the landscape and the people were so nice and kind and welcoming. The food was excellent. It was real food. I felt satisfied without feeling full because it's real food. It's like, would you listen to yourself? Would you listen to yourself?
You'll go to Chile down in South America, or you go to El Salvador, which is probably a better example, and you'll see the El Salvadorian culture. You'll see the Chilean culture and whatnot. You'll see the landscape and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then they come back here. Oh, we have so many issues. This country is just, it's just full of problems. It's the Republicans this, it's the Democrats that. It's like, how about you look at maybe the reason some of these problems exist here? And it's everything you just outlined. There's no reason to go back over it.
Well, like the Republican-Democrat conversation, real quick to add in there, Republicans are just legal immigration, and then Democrats are the legal and illegal option.
Yeah, everyone has rights.
Both of them have immigration that occur on them. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And so tying this back to the American culture piece, because there was actually another interesting post that I saw. I don't remember if I sent this to you or not, but it was talking on like, where did the American teenager jobs go.
Mm.
The weekend, part-time, high school job. We all had those types of things that eventually turned into full-time jobs for a period of time. But, you know, fast food restaurants used to always be said, it's a great high school job. You'll have some fun. You get to interact with people in kind of a retail type space. So it forces you into social interaction, which is a good thing because you learn how to speak to people, how to listen to people. Even if you're just taking orders for burgers and fries, you still have to talk to people, which is usually almost always a positive. Okay. There are 2 places that I can think of, maybe 3 if we were to count First Foreman S2, but that's not where I was going with this. It's just a place that does do those things. But Chick-fil-A, and for those of you that have been to an In-N-Out burger out west.
Yep. Right.
Okay. Those 2 places, part of the reason people love going to Chick-fil-A, food is awesome, obviously, but the reason people like going to those places is the workers are extremely kind. They're extremely helpful. It's their pleasure. Even if that's like a little funny token slogan that they have, they still say it. And eventually those kids learn to mean it. Even if they think, when they first start, it's like, man, I got to say this goofy saying, it's my pleasure. Well, eventually you learn to actually think that way.
Chick-fil-A has a culture.
100% it has a culture.
And they're okay with paying these teenagers a very good wage too.
And they're okay with being openly a Christian company. They're closed on Sundays for that reason. That's a great place to work for a high school teenager. And if you end up turning that into a career, I'm sure it can be very lucrative.
Oh,
Oh
yeah. If you get into franchising, my gosh,
Exactly. Just like McDonald's used to be that way too. People always talk about, hey, you get into management with McDonald's, like you can do really, really well.
Quality control though now is a joke with McDonald's.
It sucks.
McDonald's, yeah.
Truthfully, I couldn't tell you last time I've been inside of a McDonald's.
It was a long time ago with you and I.
Yeah, it might
was
have been
4 years ago.
Probably. And this isn't like a hate on McDonald's for their food episode. That's something completely different. Because there are some dark things to do with that side of McDonald's. But anyway, different.
Let's just call it slop.
Different story. Yeah, it might be human slop.
That's a rabbit hole.
It is a rabbit hole. But
can't sit here and that's alleged because obviously it's very unproven. But yeah.
Anyway, back to the point here. These types of places, grocery stores were like that. And even still, the grocery stores here around us in St. Louis, still a lot of like high school age, college age kids that are working the registers, working the aisles and things like that. Believe me, I'm in grocery stores every single day. I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the Deerberg's primarily around St.
Absolutely.
Louis. Yeah. The local chain here does a very good job with that.
And Deerberg's, again, that's a grocery chain here in St. Louis for those of you that have no idea what we're talking about. They do a lot of things right still. They do. Now, I do know that they have faltered on some of the things they used to do back in the day, just speaking with current and ex-employees of Deerberg's, but as a whole, my observation is still they do a lot of things right. Most of the workers are extremely nice people. They welcome you into the store. They tell you thanks for coming in. They just do the little things like standing outside of their register, asking if you're ready to check out. Oh, I can help you here. Let's do it. It's those little things that certain companies do still do correctly. And we are very fortunate to be either involved with companies like that, or we spend our money at places like that. We spend our time at places like that. When we were on your trip a couple weekends ago, we went to a golf simulator place. It was owned by a husband and wife. They were the ones working the place. They were extremely fun. They were nice people. They were helpful people. It's like, this is absolutely a local business that if I lived down here at the lake, that I would support. I would come in regularly, So there are still places that exude that American culture.
100%.
But as a whole, it is gone, basically, And
yeah.
It's for all the reasons we've already named. So we don't need to repeat ourselves a bunch.
And what you're saying, too, it has to be an active choice by these companies as well.
100%, and you have to stick to it.
Yeah, small and large businesses, small, medium, and large businesses, like you have to stick to these choices that you're going to hire quality. You're going to hire people that actually care about the values of your company and whatnot, and then actually give the customer a great experience.
Yeah.
which again is a very American-based culture.
Yeah.
That's the truth. Hard work and good work ethic is a very American value.
Absolutely. And dude, to go back to your trip, every person that we interacted with that had to do with Big Cedar,
Uh-huh.
it was incredible.
Yep.
It was incredible. Whether it was the people driving our shuttles to and from places, or it was the servers at the restaurants, or it was all the people at the golf courses that we interacted with, something I picked up on at damn near every place was, thank you for choosing to be with us here. And they meant it. It wasn't just a little slogan.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for being here. When we told the guys at the golf courses, like, hey, we will absolutely be back. Our experience has been phenomenal. Every bit of what we had heard was true. And golf aside, because obviously the golf courses are immaculate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's not even what I'm trying to convey here. It was the people. It was the excitement that the people had. Again, whether it was a restaurant, a golf course, a shuttle, the front desk people, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. They were excited that we were there. They were happy to help us. They were happy to serve us. Back to what I was saying, when we told the golf guys at the very end, like, we'll definitely be back, they were like ecstatic that we were saying that,
Yep.
you know? And it's like, this is awesome. What Johnny Morris has done with Bass Pro, with Big Cedar, like, that's someone that still does American business correctly. Andy Frisella, we talk about him in First Form all the time for a reason, because they still do American business and American culture correctly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's why people flock to those types of places. And that's also why people are willing to pay more for the service, the product, the lodge, or whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm.
People are willing to pay more because you're going to be treated correctly. You're going to feel like an American. You're just going to feel the things that we're saying are lacking.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're a shithead with terrible values, Big Cedar was horrible.
Yeah.
We hated it. If you're a piece of shit, don't go to Big
Yeah,
Cedar.
don't go. Don't go.
It's not worth your time.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's so expensive.
It's
you
so
know?
expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just terrible demographics there. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't go to Chick-fil-A. You know, don't get in the drive-through line ahead of me. Like, just don't. Okay. You'll have a terrible experience.
Yeah, they'll treat you like shit. I mean,
Yeah.
Don't go there.
It's
The
crazy.
breakfast, oh man, it's mid. Yeah, for sure. No. But it's funny though.
Sponsor us, Chick-fil-A.
Please, we're begging you. But realistically, like, that is small, medium, large businesses. That's actually a big piece of where it starts for sure. You know, we talked about the immigration piece, of course. Yeah, that's very important. But that also comes to these where the small, medium, large business piece, it also comes to the labor piece of things too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was a video that was making its round as well of a woman who hired a team of, 6 illegal Mexicans.
Oh, yeah.
I believe it was. And she called ICE on them and got them deported. Which I think I quote tweeted that on X and said, like, she did more for immigration than the Trump administration has done. And she did it within like 3 days. So shout out that lady. But the point remains is, like, the reason those guys are working for that construction team, they're probably taking a massive pay cut compared to what an American worker would be using.
Yeah.
100%.
Or the H-1B thing down in Texas where it was kind of a Nick Shirley type video.
Tyler Oliveira is his name. The guy who put it out there. Yeah.
Where they were going around investigating these businesses that were owned by H-1B holders that were employing H-1B holders. And they were all, what were they calling them? Ghost businesses.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to the physical building because legally you have to have an address attached to your corporation or your partnership. And there was no one there. There's no one in these businesses. It's the exact same thing that was exposed up in Minnesota, just like what's also being exposed in California. It's now being exposed in Texas. It is everywhere. Mm-hmm. And those are physical buildings being taken up by nothing. By nothing.
And keep in mind, too, the people that were, attempting to push back on that video, and they were attempting to say that everybody's working remote in those businesses.
Yeah.
And that H-1B allows that. Well, if that's the case, then they can stay back in India.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Or Somalia.
Or wherever country they're from, they can stay back there.
Exactly.
If they can do remote work, they don't have to be here in Texas.
Perfect.
They don't have to be here in the United States. They don't.
See ya.
Yeah. If that's the case, and it's not the case, let's be really honest.
Of course it's not the case.
Because there would at least be a business owner in the building or something like that, or whatever, if that was real. So that's 100% a great comparison there too. But it's, again, I mean, there's another large merchandise business that I learned that outsourced thousands of jobs to primarily India as well. And because one of the guys I knew, he was getting paid a high six figures, like high like 100K type six figures salary from this company, and they canned him because they were outsourcing his job. And so, it's instead of, let's say 175K this one guy's making, he's the other guy in, let's say he's an H-1B or a worker in India, he's probably getting, or Philippines or whatever, 60, 70 grand.
Yeah.
So their profit margins go up crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like their profit margins look great. But what does that do to the country?
Right.
What does that do to the country? Look up the owner of, these companies too. And that's an interesting rabbit hole too.
Yep.
Not the point. But again, that also starts with the businesses, because the businesses prioritize, look, okay, yeah, our profits for quarter two aren't going to look as good as quarter one. Right. Yeah. Oh my gosh. The shareholder value is going to go down.
Right.
Oh my gosh. What are we going to do? The company's going to go under if we stay stagnant this month. It's like, okay, at some point in time, I agree with the whole ethical capitalism aspect. You know what I mean? Compared to, let's just unhinged capitalism. Because let's be completely honest, we've gotten rid of the whole trust busting thing too.
Yeah.
Like Teddy Roosevelt is a good example of that and whatnot. That was good stuff when we were doing that, because you had companies forming that were conglomerates that would then swarm up towns at a time of business because of that as well. That's not a good thing. Yes, we want ethical capitalism and ethical competition from that. That's what we want from it. That's an important thing for American culture too, because then you pay an American worker their wage, they'd be getting paid. You lose out on the profit margin because you didn't outsource to Indians or Philippines.
Still making money though.
Yes. And you're definitely still making money.
Yeah.
In the case of these large companies, you're definitely making a lot of money still. And again, you're preserving the values and cultures of your country.
Yeah.
And you're also providing for American families over some third world countries' family.
Which is therefore benefiting the country.
Exactly. They can do that in their countries. We talked about this. They can do that in their countries.
Yeah. Well, they can't.
Apparently
they're not capable of
Apparently not.
But that doesn't mean come here.
Exactly.
To do what you're doing.
And that's, again, people talk about this too. They hear a lot of, Christians talk about the conservative side of things or whatever. And, conservatives, a pretty loose term for it to some degree for American conservatism nowadays. But we talk about that with Christians, and they talk about, well, you need to be charitable and let these people in, and they deserve a living too and whatnot. It's like, at some point in time, first of all, AI is going to take all these people's jobs. The jobs you're bringing them in for, AI is going to take all these people's jobs. We're going to have a bunch of random people here that are just on government tax income.
They're just here.
That's it. They're just here. And then the problem is, here's what happens, because here's my chain of command when it comes to my life. First is Holly and Haven, my wife and my daughter. That's what people miss. They literally outsource their care and love to people 5,000 miles away instead of focusing on people 5 miles from them.
Right.
Their family within 5 miles of them.
Right.
That's what happens. Because guess what? If I encourage policies like continuing to bring in a bunch of foreign workers, Holly and Haven's Haven's life, especially the world she'll grow up in, will be worse.
Yeah.
Because there will be less opportunity. More people takes away from opportunity. America only has so much space.
Yeah.
And we would like to keep that space, preferably.
Unless, when and if we take Canada.
We would like to add on.
Then we gain a lot of space.
Canada, they don't know it, but we're taking them.
Yeah.
It's already a foregone conclusion.
Them and Greenland.
Them and Greenland, I don't know why that's still an argument, but that's another point there. But like Canada, they're our country. Yeah, like they're euthanizing their population just for fun. I mean, they're definitely not a real country at all.
What is it? Government aided suicide or something?
It's called MAID. So medical assistance in dying. Yes. Yeah. Medical assistance in dying. It's MAID. That's their thing up there.
Yeah.
There's a 26-year-old that was euthanized because he was depressed.
Yeah.
Up in Canada just recently. You can look at all these stories. These are real things that are happening. But the point remains is, like, again, we only have so much room, and you prioritize first. Because here's the thing too, what we ignore in this whole argument when it comes to thousands or tens of thousands of other people as well, you talk about homeless veterans. We haven't done shit for them.
No.
I'm okay with my tax dollars going to providing housing for them.
Yeah.
For sure. But that's an American.
Yeah.
That's completely different. But instead you bring in an illegal immigrant, and they're already a tax liability at that point in time. Because again, there loves to be these data points where you bring in immigrants, and immigrants are a plus when it comes to tax money. That's not true at all. When it comes to the population, white people are 59% of the population. Ethnic Americans are 59% of the population. We provide 70 to 75% of the tax income in this country.
Mm-hmm.
Every other population is below that.
You're about to break that table,
Yeah,
pal.
I know. Seriously, geez. But every other population is a net negative in tax revenue they generate.
Yeah.
So that's completely false. Completely false. The point remains. Here again, if you want to preserve culture, you take a little bit of a profit margin hit if you're a company. You decide to hire an American worker for a little bit more. Oh, gosh, you charge him, or you pay him $24 an hour to build your roof instead of $12 an hour to an illegal.
Right.
Oh, my gosh.
Right.
Whatever will you do? Oh, my gosh. Oh, I don't know, preserve your kid's future?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what you'll do?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we'll do?
Or
Or
it's
preserve
just-
that Fenway Park video?
It's thinking bigger than just you.
Yeah.
And just your business.
Yep.
That's what it really comes down to. It's
Or
preserving
to you, to foreigners.
Exactly. Exactly.
And it's skipping over the family piece, too.
There's
friends.
There's a
piece.
reason Fenway and Wrigley Field in Chicago, there's a reason those stadiums are iconic in the eyes of baseball fans. Is because they're historical. There's a reason Yankee Stadium, same thing. There's a reason Busch Stadium, even though Yankee Stadium and Busch Stadium that we have now and then the Yankee Stadium that exists now, like, aren't the originals, but those still hold a lot of historical value to not only just baseball fans. It's just like Yankee Stadium is like one of the most iconic buildings in the history of the planet. Like everyone, you think of New York, you think of America, you think of business, you think of probably a lot of people think it's the capital of the U.S. There's probably even Americans that think it's the capital of the U.S. But
What, New York, you said?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. No,
Yeah.
that's actually funny. That probably is true.
But you also think of the Yankees, which also culminates to American culture.
Mhm.
It's all tied together. It's all tied together.
Yeah, you talk about the history there. Again, with
Exactly.
the players there. Yeah, 100%.
Exactly.
100%. Yeah.
Exactly.
It is okay to want to preserve your culture.
Yes.
It is
And that's-
okay to sit there and say as well that your ancestors were not evil. That's another thing as well. You
Yeah.
try to get pushed this idea that your great grandpappy was this racist piece of shit or something like that, and that we need to completely throw away the values he built for this country.
Right.
You know, again, I've talked about it before. Mitchell and I's first ancestor over here was here in the 1750s.
Yeah.
Before the Revolutionary War. It is okay to say my ancestors were not wrong, and it's okay to preserve the culture they wanted to build for our family lineage
Mhm.
here in America.
Because without them, none of us would be here.
100%.
Pretty simple.
Yeah, you're not, by the way, you're not just born to some random person. Like, you are a piece of your genetic lineage.
Yeah, exactly.
You could not have been born, if you were born here in America, you could not have been born in India. That should be pretty obvious.
Right.
Because your genetic lineage isn't over in India.
Right.
I could not have been born to my parents in Germany
Right.
because our ancestors were over here in the 1750s
Right.
at that point in time. So that would have been literally impossible. So I am my parents' genetic progeny, so to speak. And that's a big deal. You
Yeah.
should be okay with saying your genetic lineage did good things and they did what they thought was right, they thought was best. You don't need to call them evil. You don't need to sit there and be
Right.
like, let's erase all the values they built for this country.
Yeah.
It's okay to want to preserve your country.
Absolutely. All right. No Q&A today. Mitch got held up with some work stuff. But yeah, a lot of good stuff there. A lot of good stuff that we just talked about. Preserving American culture, legitimately bringing back American culture, because a lot of people like to use it as a tagline to sell some BS or whatever. But legitimately doing and bringing those things back, spending your money with places that do that, being around people that do that and want that, that is how it actually happens. It's a pretty simple equation.
100%.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's episode 197. As always, please share the show. It helps us grow. It helps us continue to get on great guests. We are planning something very special for episode 200, which is just in a few weeks here. Announcements this coming Saturday. We will have our next men's event up at S2HQ. That is April 18th. Time, it's on our graphic that we posted yesterday. At the time of recording, we haven't figured that out yet, but look for the graphic that we posted. All the details will be on there. If you have any other questions regarding that, just reach out to us. Sign up for the email chain. Go to our beacons, which is in our Instagram bio. Click on that. The email newsletter, completely free to sign up. It's like the second or third one down in the beacons. I think that is all the announcements for now.
I guess announcement for myself, but in the next couple weeks or so, as a time of recording here, so I will be full-time over at the Iron Hive.
That's right.
in
Very
Manchester,
exciting.
Baldwin area.
Very
yeah,
exciting.
so extremely exciting there.
Yes.
So if you want to come see your boy, come say hi.
Yeah.
I'll be there pretty much working mostly all day.
Yeah.
Looks
Hell
like, yeah. So
Good stuff.
you want to come say hi? You want to join in a class? You want to go to our event like we had last weekend when you're listening to this? Yeah, plenty more coming there.
Yeah. Right on. All right, guys. Until next time, peace and love.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.